Elias was the kind of man who clung to control like a lifeline. Every moment of his life was scheduled: morning workouts, business calls, carefully prepared meals, and a 5 year plan pinned above his desk. People admired his discipline. They called him focused, driven. But beneath it all, Elias feared stillness. In silence, the doubt crept in. At 34, his life looked perfect. Well-paying job, rising reputation, a fiancé he adored, and an apartment that reflected his success. He had everything, and yet something always felt brittle, like it could all shatter if he let go for even a second. And one day it did. It was a Friday afternoon. Elias was in a video meeting when his phone buzzed, then again, and again. Reluctantly, he muted the call and answered. It was a neighbor. "Elias, there's smoke coming out of your apartment window. I called the fire department." His heart dropped. He bolted from the office, racing through the streets, sirens screaming in the distance. When he turned onto his block, he froze. His building was ablaze. Flames licked through the upper floors. His floor. Smoke poured into the sky like grief itself. Firefighters held him back as he tried to push forward. By the time the fire was out, it was all gone. Photos, clothes, mementos, his journals, his grandfather's antique watch, the place he built with care and pride, reduced to soot and silence. He stared at the blackened windows and felt a terrifying emptiness. Not rage, not sorrow, just nothing. The weeks that followed were a blur. Elias couch-surfed between friends' places, his routines destroyed, his world unrecognizable. His company gave him time off, but he couldn't bring himself to care. He stared at ceilings, walked through unfamiliar neighborhoods. Time felt meaningless. His fiancée tried to hold the pieces together for both of them, but he had become distant, withdrawn. She wept one night and whispered, "I miss who you used to be." He didn't have the heart to tell her. He missed that man too. They eventually parted ways. No fight, just resignation. One rainy afternoon, while killing time in a quiet library, Elias found a small book on an empty table. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. He opened it at random. Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. He laughed bitterly. What could some ancient Roman emperor know about loss? But something in those words stayed with him. He borrowed the book, then another, Epictetus, Seneca. He began journaling, though he had nothing to say. He started sitting in silence, watching his breath. At first, he hated it, but over time it became a place to rest, not escape, but observe. He wrote down his thoughts. Everything I lost was never truly mine. What remains is what I choose to carry. He stopped trying to rebuild his old life and started building a new mind. A year later, Elias was changed. He lived simply, no more chasing perfection. He had fewer things, fewer plans, but more presence. He still worked, but not for status. He still loved, but without clinging. He walked through life slower, quieter, as if each step mattered. He became the kind of man people came to during chaos, not because he had answers, but because he radiated something rare, stillness. He gave a talk at a local community group once. He shared the fire, the loss, and how stoicism didn't erase pain, but taught him how to face it. He said, "Mindfulness gave me breath, stoicism gave me backbone." And when someone asked him what he would have done differently, he paused, then said, "I would have started listening to silence sooner. I spent my whole life trying to control the waves. Now I just anchor myself beneath them." Elias still had hard days, still felt echoes of the fire, the grief, the loneliness, but now he didn't fight those feelings. He greeted them like old friends, visitors, not rulers. He had learned that real strength is not about holding everything together. It's about letting go of what you can't control and standing firm in what you can. In losing everything, Elias didn't find happiness. He found clarity. He found peace. He found himself.